Goal line, on the goal line, off this side, this way, let's go line, let's go line.
Back again for another week.
You know it, excited.
Hey. All right, we'll get right to it. Friday night, we're out here. I'm surprised your voice is as good as it is right now. So Friday night, I was a little worried about it. Bottom line, y'all went down 21-0.
Sir.
Now, you couldn't have started the game off any worse. A couple bad plays on defense, some dumb penalties that happened. Where were you at 21 down? We were down 21. Where were you at?
Well, you know, you was here, so I really wasn't panicking yet. Of course, like I'm not about to sit here and act like you okay or you want to be down 21, you know. But I felt like the way the things were going was, I felt like we were getting their best shot.
Yeah. And
we just had to weather it, and we had to stay positive with the kids. You know, when that type of stuff happens, you don't want to start beating them up because then you'll lose them.
Right.
And they won't respond. So, you know, I just took that approach to it because that's the smart approach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do things, you know, here out of love, kids, coaches, so I don't want to, you know, beat them up. But at the same time, we need to figure out, you know, where the bleeding's coming from,
right,
and stop it.
Yeah.
Like, we need to focus all our attention on the area that we're bleeding from. So, you know, once we did that, you know, I felt like the TJ on the punt, I got to tell everybody, that was not a fake punt call. That was an athlete being an athlete. Now, the reason he's back there is because of that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I got a kid, Jason Tremenio, with Mike, that can punt the ball like a college punter.
Yeah.
But we're developing snappers.
Right.
So both my snappers are inexperienced, and Tremenio isn't the athlete TJ is.
Right.
So a high snap, little to the, so that play right there, if that's Tremenio, the ball's probably on the ground. He probably recovers it, but we don't get all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things, you know, coaching, you put an athlete there, so when stuff doesn't go right, at least you got a shot to make something happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got that play, got some momentum, was able to get 7, so I felt like that did a great job, you know, stopping the bleeding, and, you know, now we're like, all right, let's fight back. Now that we're not wounded, let's try to fight back a little bit.
Now, I'll tell you, I was on the sideline, and at one point, I think it was either 21-7, 21-13, I look over, and Quest is dancing on the sideline. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback down like that dancing. So the confidence that he had, I don't know if he knew that, you know, y'all were going to make it back, but he had the confidence where he was loose and letting it go. And I think other people were starting to kind of feed off that and start to feel the momentum a little bit. Then you guys, you come back, and it's a tight game throughout. I mean, look, that's a good team you all played.
Sure.
11 can go, 7 can go. Their quarterback is good. I mean, the defense is good. That's a tough game you got right there. How did your game plan change from where you went in to then where you are? I said, all right, we're down. We got to make it back. What did you change about the game plan?
Well, the thing, I'm not gonna say we never had to change it. But we had to adjust some things. Okay. Coach Brown and them, I coached for them, played for them. John, Bill, they had a bye week.
Yeah.
So they had 2 weeks to get ready for us. And anytime you got good coaches and you give them 2 weeks, you know, they got stats on that now with the college coaches.
Oh, yeah.
You know they're going to be ready for you. And then they're going to have some things that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
And they did. They had some things offensively we hadn't seen. So once we figured out how we need to adjust and line up to those things, and then a couple things maybe we game planned, you know, a couple times game plan wise, we felt like you know, we could play man and get some pressure, and the quarterback wasn't going to do a good job. He did.
Yeah.
So we had to adjust that and change it. And we had to play more coverage than pressure. And then offensively, we tweaked some things in the run game to kind of get us loose.
Yeah.
People don't understand the football chess match that was being played out there with the formations. You know, I had to put my best receiver in the backfield, motion him out because coach and them was doing a good job of bracketing Mari.
Yeah.
So and like when you coach, that's what you love because you're like, man, we got not only the players getting after it, but you can see the coaching going back and forth. And, you know, the goal line play, well, not goal line, the play that the quarterback ran in on us, you know, they're in double tight with a receiver, with a H-back, and we're not lined up right, and that results in an easy. And as a coach, you like, you know, the mean respect, you're like, ooh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, I got to come up with something for that quick.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you said, we had to tweak what we were doing, but we had to adjust to what they were doing well. And I think that's part of being a good coach. You can't ride your pride to a loss.
Yeah.
You got to say, all right, scrap this.
Yeah.
I did this wrong, it's not working. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's part of, you know, maturation as a coach and being a good coach.
No, I saw there was a couple of times where they would send in a package and you knew that you had seen it on film, but did they obviously switched up what they were doing because I saw you, it just didn't work what you had going on. Now, knowing each other so well, that's got to make it even a harder matchup because y'all know each other so well. You know their system, they obviously know yours. Like you said, they had 2 weeks going, but also does it change? Does it when you say things like that, you tip your hat to the play? Do you have a little more respect for those guys because you know who it is coming at you?
Yeah, of course. You know, you got a little more admiration.
Yeah.
Regardless who it was, if it's a good thing, you know me, I done told you, guys, I felt like they was good coaches.
Yeah.
And you like, that's a good play, but you know, you got a little more admiration because it's them. And then, you know, crazy thing is, like I told you in the paper, me and Coach Brown talked yesterday on my way to Richmond, and we laughed and joked about some of those things.
Yeah.
Me and Coach John Brown talked via text about just like, oh, I knew your little butt was going to do that.
Right.
And, you know, the football side of it, man, it just reminds you why you love it. But again, a little more admiration because it's those guys, but I'm going to be, somebody coach, they got good stuff, they got good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, you know what I mean? You appreciate that, you know, sometime as a coach.
Now, there was one series where the refs couldn't figure out if it was 3rd or 4th down. But he was over there saying it was 3rd, you was over there saying it was 4th. Did y'all talk about that after the game?
No, because truth be told, it definitely was 3rd down. But if there's any indecision, I got to shoot my shot just like them.
Yeah.
I got to come up with my argument as well. So the good thing about them is they had the sideline thing. So they're like, look, 1, 2. John had the tablet on the field. I said, what is this, college? We don't have replay? Like, you don't look at the replay.
Right.
So, you know, that's football. You know, it was 3rd down for sure.
Right.
But if there's any indecision on the refs, any slight, you feel like you can jump in there, you got to jump in there.
You got to take
it. You know, you got to. So, you know, like you said, it definitely was 3rd down. But, you know, we got to try it.
You brought up Mari. There's not a chance he'll ever face single coverage again. You can't. There's no way you can let that guy go on single coverage. But I think he attracts now so much attention from the defense that they've got to look for him all the time. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, you saw what he did with a screen.
Yeah.
You got to watch.
And you're right. And truthfully, that wasn't even a screen. That was a hitch.
Yeah.
But so coaching wise, that challenges me. Find ways to get him the ball.
Yeah.
But also, we're a good receiving core. So you start giving all that attention to Mari and you forget Jason Hawkins is pretty good. Now he's hurting you.
Yeah.
We got another guy on the other side, Hamlin, 6'4". He demands some type of respect and attention. So again, like we talked about, that's the game within the game.
Yeah.
If you're gonna give that guy all that respect, which he has warranted, you still got to figure out how to cover these other guys, and we got a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And like you said, the football side of it is this. we still can run the ball. We good up front. So when you doubling him, that's a person you're not using to stop the run.
Yeah.
So some of the football side is us putting him by himself, and you think, oh, we got him, we double him, but no, we want you to do that so we can run that way because we know you don't have the extra guy.
Right.
So it's the game within the game, but we're a good offense all the way around.
Yeah.
So Mari's special, but we got a lot of good guys to go with that.
Yeah.
So, that's no different than any other good football team. That guy demands all that respect, and he should get it.
Yeah.
And the crazy you say he's never going to be double teamed a single cover, he will. It'll happen.
No, I heard Cody say on Friday night, if somebody does that, they need to be fired.
It's going to happen, though.
Right. You brought up Jason. I mean, I think he had a tremendous game, both sides. He made some big plays on defense, made some big plays on offense, returning punts, things like that. He comes through in big moments. You can't say anything else about a guy who comes through in big moments. I mean, it's special to have a player like that on.
Listen, Jason, I had to get on him early because he gave up the post.
Yeah.
So, good thing I like about him, he one of them kids you can coach. And like we talked about, you could challenge him.
Yeah.
And he gonna say, okay, I'm gonna show you. He's not gonna pout, go in the jar.
Right.
I said it today on Twitter, you cannot show me a better football player than him.
No.
Not a football player. You might show me somebody that's faster.
Right.
You might show me somebody that's a little taller. They may do this a little better, but not an all-around football player. He played middle linebacker this past weekend. TJ gets hurt. We got to play him at outside linebacker. Play safety.
Yeah.
He played running back. He returned punts and kicks. He's 6 feet, 190 pounds. It's nothing on that field he can't do. And he's a good blocker at receiver. So you're glad to have a guy like that on your side. And like you said, man, when it hit the fan, he's not gonna run the other way.
No.
At all. He wanted to be him. He rose to the occasion. I've been on him pretty tough about dropping the football.
Yeah.
And, he made, probably 3 of the biggest catches, of the game.
So we talked about Miss Bryant, the principal here at Freedom, and how much she supports the team, how much she supported you. We had a chance a little while ago to sit down with her, talk to her for a few minutes. Take a look. All right. Miss Bryant, I don't even want to talk to him for a minute. I want to talk to you.
Okay.
So being the principal at Freedom here, obviously a high school is not all about a football program, but how has it kind of helped the student population as far as the success that the football team has had?
I think it's changed the culture, and it's allowed us to have more parent involvement, just parent participation in other events besides football, and the morale of the school. When you have a winning football program, everybody's excited. So that's about it.
Well, you've got a coaching background yourself. So what's it like to now be on the other side and have to be in charge of this man over here?
Well, I have to say Coach Overton is, I would say, a phenomenal coach. One, he's knowledgeable in the field, okay? Two, he's never not about learning, making a difference. How can I do this better? And we have a lot of conversation about that. I try to give my little bit of knowledge. I had 18 successful years to him about perception, about student academic success, about, just changing the perception really that people have of Freedom in our athletes. And what I have to say, he listens. He's never judgmental, like, who she thinks she is. Never that. And I think having those conversations with each other, being able to bounce off, it's just made the program even better than it has ever been in the past. Darryl is really about students, and I'm always about student athletes. I have, as a coach, former coach, I believe when you have academics and athletics, the sky is the limit for you.
So you like how she put in there, though. She made sure she let you know she had 18 successful years. So you got a way to go.
I agree. I learned from him, so I know.
But he's going to be successful.
Good. Well, I'm glad you brought up, you said the change in the perception of the students and the athletes here at Freedom. What would you like people to know that people don't really see or don't get to see a lot of times about Freedom and the students here at Freedom?
That these students are very talented, they're academically solid. We have 32 languages here, and kids participate not only in football, soccer, lacrosse, basketball. You know, it runs the gamut. And I want people to know that these kids can do whatever they want to do and be successful. And it doesn't matter where you come from, where you've been, who you've been involved with. If you have a goal and you want to achieve it, it can be done here at Freedom. And you know, I always say talk is cheap. I'm from Missouri, the show me state, and I think Freedom has shown Prince William County, Fairfax County, Alexandria City, Stafford, that we definitely can hang with the big boys.
So tell me a little bit just about your background. What prepared you to come here to Freedom and be the principal of a school like this?
Well, prior to getting here, I, of course, was an educator. I taught for 7 years, went on to be, I was a department chair, went on to be an assistant principal, then an associate principal, and then took on this task of Freedom High School. And so just my great mentors that I had, because you can't do it by yourself. My father was a principal. The coaching, I guess the coaching realm of other coaches, A.K. Johnson from T.C. Williams, Jeff Dietze was my AD, so you're gonna learn it right or you're not gonna learn it at all. And I have to say, Jeff was a great teacher for me. He had the expectation that you would know about Virginia High School League rules and regulations. So it's not hard for me because I understand that. But I also understand that, you know, we have coaches that don't know that. So we have to teach them those things. Make sure all the, what I would call the ducks are lined up in a row so you can be successful. I want you to know the Virginia High School League. I want you to know proper etiquette on and off the field. I want the kids to look good on the field, off the field, perception to be good on and off the field. And then no one can touch you with that. Like, you can run with it. And I think that Darryl has done a great job with putting that in place. And he's like I said, a continual learner, and he's going to impart that information onto his kids, his coaching staff, so that in the end we have a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Now, you've told me before that having her on your side and supporting you has been a big help for you. How does that relationship grown from the start to now? I mean, you've been 5 years now. How's that kind of changed for you?
Well, you know, like Ms. Bryant said, you know, she's always supported everything that we were doing as a football program. The part that, you know, she keeps touching on is, you know, making sure we're improving every year on everything. You know, whether, like you said, academic success, you know, football success, you know, kids present themselves as good young men. You know, the relationship is, you know, has grown and blossomed to one where, like I said, she is, you know, she's being humble, saying she's telling me what to do. Like, she's been like a mother figure to me. When I needed to be, she needed to be tough on me and say, you can't do this, this is why. She's done that. And, you know, just like you hear, when I've done a good job, saying you're doing a good job. But again, if I didn't have her to bounce stuff off of, not football-wise, just life with the kids, you know, how should I go about this? You know, I wouldn't be as successful as I am. So, you know, the relationship part is, you know, what she's giving me in advice and what I should do to help the program, make sure we receive, and make sure, you know, we just always going in the right direction. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's everything that, you know, a building principal should do and would do, but outside of that, it's just making sure that I represent myself and that the kids is represent themselves in the best way all times.
I'd like to be there for the conversations where she's hard on you, because I can see that. Although she's giving a little too much advice to the cameraman right now. She's gonna have my pockets hurting in a minute. Well, Ms. Bryant, I thank you so much for joining us.
No, I appreciate it. Anything I can do to support the program, all programs. I mean, that's what we're here for. Yeah. I have to say, we're on the same page because we're all about the kids. It's never about us, it's about the kids.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Bryant says she don't really like talking on camera and stuff like that. She better than you.
Hey, She don't mind talking to the camera.
Right.
She don't want, I think a bad perception is she don't want people saying I'm her favorite and all that stuff. When little do people know she tougher on me than anybody, and warranted so. You know what I mean? Even like me and you talk, I'm not gonna say the kid just because of them. She the one who sat out one of my kids for the first quarter in the first half because of something they did in school.
Right.
Like, she's not gonna do that to the other sports.
Right.
She know what we mean to the student body, and how we should be leaders of the school. So it's pretty much the opposite. She hold us to such a high, tough standard, but I don't pout about it. I just do my best every day to meet it. She knows that. Some days I might fall short, but I'm gonna try every day.
And it only makes y'all better.
And it's not even about football. It makes us just better human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make us better human beings.
No, that's great. One thing I wanted to ask you, a couple things. One, away from the game, away from the field goal was crazy. You come down, you make the field goal, you win the game. As the clock is going to 0, just amazing. But your son is a player on the team.
Yes.
What's it like coaching your son? As there's a fine line between dad and coach, and I know that's a different thing. I've coached my kids playing basketball, all that stuff. How is that like? What's that like for you?
To be 100% honest, I've been coaching my son since he was 8 years old. All the way youth league, all the way to high school. And one thing that anybody will tell you, I've always been good at separating dad and coach. Even the guys here tell you, my son came here as a freshman. This is my son's first year being a full-time starter, because this is the first time he was better than the people in front of him.
Yeah.
On the football field, I'm gonna hold him to the same standard as everybody else. He knows that. I don't belittle him or talk to him differently than anybody else though either. So I know he appreciated that, but the other part to make it easy, man, my son, ask him, he's a great kid. Anything ask him to do, he'll do it. For you, for me, his brothers, sisters, anything ask him to do, he'll do it. The thing that I leave out of it, even the dad part, I got a rule. Like, after a game, I'm not gonna talk to him or get on him about nothing that happened in that game until Monday, just like the rest of the kids.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make him sit in the house with me all weekend. D, come downstairs. What are you doing right here?
Right.
I'm not doing that to nobody else.
Yeah.
So I don't do it to him either.
All right.
So I do the same thing with him Monday. Get out there. If he watch film at home, it's because he watched film at home. It's not because I made him come sit beside me for 7 hours. So honestly, bro, I feel like that's something I've done a good job of ever since he was 9 years old. I make him earn everything. Again, as a dad, I do tell him, forget coaching, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And I told him that, after Friday, he balled.
He did.
And last week, I feel like he's becoming his own player on his own. He's building his own stardom. Yeah. And I know deep down inside that's important to him. He knows everybody know his dad and his uncles. Yeah. He leave his own mark and his identity.
Right.
And I think about the social side of it. Like, I've never put my son on a pedestal above the team because I want his teammates to genuinely like him and love him. And I know I've done it right because they do.
Right.
He's one of the guys just like the rest of them. So I take a lot of pride in doing that the right way. I know I've done it the right way. I just continue to do so.
All right. You just said something telling them that you were proud. And that was one thing in the locker room after the game. There's one thing that I took away. I think all coaches and teachers, just guys in mentorship positions, you can never underestimate what telling a group of kids or a kid, I'm proud of you. You never underestimate what that does. And I think just listening to you talk to them after the game, I thought that was real important the way you come across there.
Man, it's like you said, we old now.
Right.
And we still like when people tell us, I'm proud of you. Yeah. I mean, and for teenage boys, men, young, whenever you're coaching, teaching, you never know what people are going through at home when they're not here. So like you said, hearing somebody say, I'm proud of you, instead of adults always and only speaking to you when you're doing something wrong.
Right.
I just felt like that was important, that they know that I was proud of them. And like I told them, I'm appreciative of y'all for continuing to fight for me.
Yeah.
And like I told them, y'all picked me up. Y'all helped me out.
Right.
You know, with our communication and some of the things, you know, you heard it. So, I mean, again, man, I think that's where win, lose, or draw, we do things different because it's genuinely a lot of love, out of love. I got a, for better and worse, I got a close relationship with all my guys. And, you know, I take pride in that, but, you know, that's the only way, that's the way I love doing it. And like I said, I truthfully enjoy it. But like you said, telling people in general that you're proud of them goes a long way.
Yeah. Outside of football.
Yeah.
What do you do outside of football? Because you coaching, you watching film. I know you coach youth leagues. You play, you train kids. What do you do outside of football?
Football. I mean, and you know, my kids, my daughters. You know, all my kids. I put all my energy into that. Honestly, outside of, you know, the football stuff that I do all the time, it's, you know, like you said, the youth program. It's an all-day thing on Saturdays. Then, you know, we meeting on Sundays, getting ready. So it's not really a lot of time once football crank up outside of football, because outside of this happening, the youth organization happening, and then you right back into this on Sunday and Monday. Yeah. And like, you know, unlike most dudes, once most coaches go home, I got to make sure the little league practice is good. Yeah. And then, like you said, from, you know, all my stinkers, you know, my daughters, call them stinkers, all of them. They got stuff that they doing, you know, and stuff that they developing. It never stops. Yeah. Like you said, you coach girls, even my youngest play. You know, you got to get kids on the weekends to these colleges. It never stops. Yeah. Once football season start, it never stops. My loved ones know that, you know, support it. You know, they know I'm trying to do everything I got to do. You know, anybody can respect that, you know what I mean? So I got all the support from my family and loved ones that I need. And like you said, I genuinely love this. It never feels like a job. Right. Like, I feel tired. Like, oh my gosh, I got to drive to Richmond, coach these 9-year-olds. But once I get there and it start happening, I mean, it's love all again. Then I jump in the car like, all right, let me drive to Fredericksburg, make sure these 13-year-olds good. Love. As soon as I get out there, right back to it. Yeah. You know, so, you know, it's a lot. But it's what I love, it's my passion. My family and loved ones have accepted it and made it their passion. And anything they do to help me, they do it. Yeah. And like you said, you know, man, with good support, you know, you can do it. You know what I mean? It is tough at times. And you asking, you know, other people to carry the burden, whether it be, you know, kids' mom with having the kids a little longer. Yeah. You know, but you need to support everybody to make it, you know, to do it.
Now, you got a bye week this week.
Yep.
How does your preparation change for the bye week?
Two things. You know, I told the coach, you heard me, I told the coaches, like, we need to develop some of our younger guys. Okay. We need to identify what we're not doing well, and we got to get better at that. We just need to clean up things. Like, our preparation, we're going to practice every day, just like normal. I told them I'd give them off Friday if everything goes good, Monday through Thursday. But, you know, preparation not going to change. We still going to get ready for Battlefield, no matter what. You know, just like I said, it was an advantage for Colonial Forward. So now we got that same advantage for Battlefield where we got 2 weeks to get ready for them. But it's also a week where you got time to develop things because you don't have a games. You don't have to strategize or stuff. And you can add wrinkles to your offense, defense. Yeah. So, you know, it helps. Like I said, it helped, you know, not in our favor this Friday. Right. So that's one of those things. We'll add some stuff to our arsenal, both sides of the ball. You know, we'll get better at all the little things. So this is a week where you could do more individual technique, EDD, everyday drill stuff. There's so much scout, team, group periods. You can really develop things. You can clean up your special team stuff, which we need to do. So that's the only difference is you can kind of focus in more on things.
Do you spend more time on your team this week and then more time on Battlefield next week?
Definitely. Okay. That's it. Like, we want to spend more time on our team. Yeah. And then, like you said, we'll spend more time on Battlefield next week. We'll give Battlefield time, but at the same time, they may say, we're going to scrap everything we did. Yeah. So that film, that you don't get the film from them until they get done with their game. You don't get the film. So you gotta do your research and go through huddle highlights to get what they're doing if you don't have an opponent that played them before you, because they don't have to trade with you until after their game.
Yeah. So just as far as bye weeks go, like, is that something that you like to have in the season, or do you rather just play straight through?
I like it. Yeah. I think it's necessary. Two things, injuries, and then it's a reset button. Yeah. I would be upset if it was week 1 like some teams.
Right.
I like it where it's at. We just played a great team.
Yeah.
We get a bye, get another, respectable program, out of conference game with Battlefield, and then we start our district schedule. So I like it anywhere from, that week 4 to 6. Yeah. Where you kind of, get a week to, all right, let's reset. Yeah. We played 3 games. All right, hit reset. All right, let's refocus. And sometimes it works out good.
Yeah. You don't want it late in the season. It's just too.
Yeah. Once you get rolling, I like to roll. I don't want too many bumps or changes up in the regularly scheduled program. You say that now, unless you had an injury.
Right.
Then you would want it later.
Yeah. Well, that game was amazing the other night. I mean, that's the best game I've seen in a while. 2 teams just going back and forth there. Your defense played great from about 2 minutes into the second quarter on through the rest of the game. The field goal. When that play happened, Jason got the ball, it was down. You only had a couple of seconds left to get back on the field.
Yep.
How much were you yelling for the field goal team?
Well, I was ready to spike the ball and let's regroup and let's do what we're going to do. My assistants had it ready, and I felt like, Arnold Schwarzenegger in kindergarten, like kids running past me. I'm looking like, what is going on? And a testament to my coaches, and I said it, Coach Taylor, our special team coach, all the assistants, they had it ready to go. Yeah. And it ran out there, and I think it worked in our favor because they didn't get in a traditional block or get set up to block it. Yeah. It was kind of like, oh my goodness, this is happening for everybody. Yeah. Once those guys was sprinting on the field and ready to go, and the crazy thing is this, Coach Taylor got this bonsai drill, right? Well, he just throws the ball somewhere on the field, and we got to run a special team out there in 10 seconds or less. Yeah. The kids like, oh man, what are we doing, man? All this grumbling. Right. There it is, right there in live action, bonsai drill. So you saw me, I went from, what are we doing, to let's go, we out of here. And, our kicker, Markel, got a strong leg. He's not just a kicker, he's a great athlete. Yeah. First time playing football since his freshman year. He could help us in a lot of places once he learned what we was doing. Honestly, he wasn't even a kicker early on. And then, our kicker had missed like a couple of days with a family incident. And then one of the coaches, I think it was Coach Williams, Cody was like, man, Markel could kick. And he came out there like kid and play. And, dude, I said, oh, well, that worked out.
He had ice in his veins in that moment right there.
He's a competitor. Yeah. That's the thing different about him. Yeah. Plays on the basketball team. So, he's not your typical kicker. Right. He's a respected man in our school. He's a good dude. That type of stuff not gonna bother him.
No, he got a whole different name now going into Monday. That's for sure. When he goes back to school on Monday, everybody gonna know who he is.
That's a fact.
That's great. Well, now I wanted to ask you about that before we got out, because I was on the sideline. I saw it happen. It was great. Look, we'll see you next week. Good luck this week in practice.
You know it.
Get everybody, nicked up, get them all into treatment, all that stuff. And then, we'll talk about the bye week and everything next week.
All right, brother. Appreciate you always.
All right, man.
All day long, on the goal line, off this side, this way, let's go line, let's go line.